speak to a lot of atheists and evolutionists, and I will try to explain to them how that their claims for proof for macroevolution have been refuted. And so they constantly come back at me with links to the latest information that was shown 2 weeks ago. And I say, I don't even want to read that garbage because I have checked over time, and you go back to that article and a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, and that claim has been refuted by the evolutionists, people who are in favor of Darwinian evolution. They will refute their own work and say, oh, we made a mistake, this is not true. But by that time, it's already gotten into the curriculum, it's already gotten into the mass media, and they've spread it far and wide. And then once it's refuted, a lot of them don't ever report that. So a kid goes to school and says, well, Neanderthal, it's a pre-human, and Java Man and Piltdown Man and all these things. And they've all been proven false, and some of them have been proven hoaxes. Some of them have been proven deliberate hoaxes. And the people in favor of it are the ones who admit that this is a proven hoax. So I tell people, I say, I don't want to see your brand new, spanking new information that hasn't yet been tested to see if it lasts the test of time. I want you to show me something that's 30 years old or older that still has not been refuted. I've never, ever once had a person give me an example of any kind of evidence that is supposed to help support macroevolution that is 30 years old or older. I had one person actually respond to me, and he said, well, what about this? And he gave me some example. And I said, I told him, I said, before you send it to me, look it up on the internet and see if it's been refuted. He sends it to me. So I'm thinking, okay, he must have looked it up, couldn't find any refutation, but he might have been, baiting it. So I'll try to see if I can find it, because maybe he's, maybe he's looking it up in such a way that would not allow refutation. I simply typed in the claim that he had. I don't remember what it was. It had something to do with DNA base pairs or something. Whatever it was he called it, I typed in that same phrase that he gave me. And the second result, thanks, I'm making a video here. The second result was a science article showing that it had been proven false. Even though I think it's still fairly modern, people still think it's true, it had been proven false. And it was the second response, the second result in a search engine. And I told him that, and I think he never responded back to me. So people say, well, I have the latest information that proves macroevolution. No, you don't. You have some brand spanking new thing that hasn't been tested, it hasn't lasted the test of time. The other thing is they will say, microevolution and macroevolution are the same thing. Macro is just micro over a long period of time. No, they're not the same thing. Microevolution, which is a bad term, that's true. Creationists do not deny microevolution. It's a bad term. It's variation within a species. So you have a genetic pool. Okay, you have like the original dogs. And the original dogs have all the genetic data in them that allows for every dog that exists today. They're packed full of genetic data, like an entire alphabet of 26 letters, okay? Well, from that entire alphabet of 26 letters, I can create the word the, I can create the word free, air, gas station, laundromat, shoe. I can do all these things. And a shoe does not look like a laundromat, and a gas station does not look like air, okay? The words don't look the same, and yet they're all from the same original source, 26 letters of the alphabet. You can take some words and put them over here. You can take huge words and put them over here, and tiny words and put them over there, but they're all from the same original 26 letters, okay? But you're never going to get as a letter, okay? That's not part of the alphabet, is not part of the alphabet. That's not a letter, okay? The glottal stop is not part of the English alphabet. It's part of the Israeli alphabet, but it's not part of the English alphabet. So you're not going to get that result. So you can take the evolution of the horse or the evolution of the dog, and all that is where you've taken that original genetic data, that original alphabet, so to speak, and you've broken it up into smaller things. And so you get the Chihuahua, and the Chihuahua is not a new creature. It's a new breed, but it's not new information. It's lacking all the potent amount of genetic data it could have had, but was removed from it to create a tiny little bug of a dog, this tiny little cat, okay? And it's a weak animal. It's genetically weak. It's lacking. It's bred out of it all the strength. Whereas something like a golden retriever has a whole lot more strength in it for safety, for survival, for intelligence, all those things. And the genetic pool of the golden retriever goes back to the original dogs. But what they want you to believe is macroevolution. And macroevolution is that eventually, if you get all these variants over a period of time, you get new genetic information. And you do not get new genetic information. You get rearrangements of the old genetic information. So you take a people group, and some people group look different than other people group, but if you test their DNA, they're a mixture of two older people groups. So like the mestizo. People in my family are mestizo Mexican. Well, you look into the genetic background of the mestizo, and they are a people group mixed up of two other people groups that predate them. Okay? Does that mean that they're a new genetic data? No, they're a combination of old genetic data that was already there. And I'm a Caucasian. A Caucasian is not a new thing. It is something that comes from the original parents, Adam and Eve. And as their children separated, their descendants separated, new features pop to the surface because other features don't hold that down. So if you have less genetic data, then you have, whether it's high cheekbones or white skin or smaller or wider nostrils or curly hair or flat hair or blue eyes or blonde, or blue eyes or brown eyes. That's not new information coming into the gene pool. It is getting rid of some information that goes over in this direction and creates its own people group, and other information goes over in this area and creates its own people group. You're losing genetic data and creating new features because now they're able to express themselves because other genetic data, what was that? Other genetic data is gone. Almost sound like somebody shot a BB gun. So, it's like I could take an airplane. I can take an airplane and I can make another airplane out of it, a smaller airplane. Or I can take it and make a car out of it. But I can't make, I can't make an oil well out of it, or I can't make a rock out of an airplane because that information's not there. That product is not there. I can't make a tree out of an airplane. Nothing is there to be able to do that. But I can make other derivatives. So microevolution is true. It's derivations. It's variations within a species that stays the same species, stays the same race. You can take a black person and a white person and have kids, and some of the kids will be dark, and some of the kids will be light, and some of the kids will be in the middle. Okay, but you're not going to get a kid who's blue. You're not going to get a kid who's red. You're not going to get a kid who looks Asian. The genetic data is not there. I mean, unless the parent has the genetic data, but you can't create new genetic data. So that's the big argument that they don't get because they don't know science. They know propaganda from public schools and from mass media. They don't know actual science that's lasted the test of time because their information hasn't lasted the test of time.